The market on the alien world of Veris Prime was full of noise, smells, and colors. Tall alien traders shouted in strange voices, selling bright fruits and glowing minerals. Humans were rare here, so when Captain Ryan walked through the crowd, heads turned. He kept his eyes open, curious about every strange shape and color around him. That's when he saw her. She was standing near a stall of shimmering fabrics, her skin a soft blue that caught the sunlight like water. Long, graceful tentacles flowed from her head and shoulders, swaying gently with her every move. Her golden eyes were scanning the crowd, sharp and alert, as if she was watching for something or someone. Ryan slowed down. He didn't know why, but she looked different. Not just beautiful in an alien way, but also tense, like she was ready to run or fight. When she noticed him looking, their eyes met. Ryan gave a small, friendly smile. He wanted to say something, anything, to break the strange tension. And before he could think, the words slipped out. "Your tentacles look great today." It was casual, harmless, at least that's what he thought. Her eyes widened instantly. The air around them seemed to freeze. The nearby stall owners stopped talking. The smell of spice in the air seemed to fade. Ryan could feel dozens of alien eyes on him, watching in complete silence. The girl stepped closer, her movements slow and careful. She tilted her head, her golden eyes locked on his face. When she spoke, her voice was low, almost trembling. "Do you even know what you just said to me, human?" Ryan blinked. It was a compliment, I thought." But before he could finish, she grabbed his wrist and pulled him sharply into a narrow alley between two stalls. He stumbled a little, surprised by her sudden strength. The crowd's whispers rose behind them, following them like a shadow. In the shade of the alley, she let go of his arm but didn't step back. Her tentacles curled slightly, as if hiding their tips. "You don't understand," she said, her voice quick and urgent. "In my culture, saying that, especially in public, is not just a compliment. It is a promise." Ryan frowned. "A promise of what?" She looked around, making sure no one was listening, then met his eyes again. "A promise to bond," she whispered. "For life." Ryan's heartbeat jumped. This had to be some kind of misunderstanding. But the way she looked at him, serious, a little afraid, told him it wasn't. "You have just asked me to be yours," she said. "And if you break that promise, my clan will come for you." Ryan felt the weight of the alien stares still lingering from the market. Somewhere deep inside, he knew this was only the beginning. Ryan stared at her, trying to decide if she was joking. The narrow alley was dim, the noise of the market muffled behind the walls. The alien girl's golden eyes did not blink. "You're saying," Ryan began slowly, "that what I said means, I proposed to you." Her tentacles curled tighter, and she nodded once. "Not just proposed. You used the binding words. They are sacred. They cannot be taken back." Ryan ran a hand through his hair. "I didn't know. Where I come from, it's just a compliment. Like saying someone has nice hair." Her expression hardened. "For my people, a male does not say this unless he is ready to protect, provide, and claim a female for life. The words are witnessed by anyone who hears them. And today, the whole market heard." Ryan's stomach sank. "So, what happens if I just say I didn't mean it?" She looked away for a moment, her voice low. "If you take back the words, you insult not just me but my clan. It would mean you see me as unworthy. My brothers would challenge you. They would not let you live." Ryan felt the cold weight of her warning settle over him. He glanced toward the open market, imagining armored warriors pushing through the crowd with weapons drawn. "All right," he said, trying to keep his voice calm. "Then maybe you can help me fix this. Tell them I'm not from here. That I didn't know." She stepped closer, her tentacles brushing lightly against his arm. An accidental touch, or maybe not. "It is not that simple, human. Once spoken, the bond is recognized by the elders. They will want to test you. If you pass, you live as my chosen. If you fail..." She didn't finish. She didn't need to. Ryan took a deep breath, forcing a half smile. You still haven't told me your name. She hesitated. Larissa. All right, Larissa, he said. If I'm stuck in this, then at least tell me what kind of test we're talking about. Before she could answer, a shadow moved at the mouth of the alley. Several tall figures appeared, blocking the light. They were huge, over 7 feet tall, wearing black armor plates with jagged edges. In their hands were long, spear-like weapons humming with energy. The one in front spoke, his voice deep and metallic. The human has spoken the binding words. He belongs to our blood now. Bring him to the hall. Larissa stepped in front of Ryan, her tentacles lifting slightly in a defensive posture. He will come, she said, her voice steady. But you will not harm him. The warriors stared at her, then at Ryan. There was no laughter in their eyes, only cold judgment. Ryan's instincts told him one thing. This was not a misunderstanding he could talk his way out of. Whatever this test was, it would decide whether he left this planet alive. The armored warriors moved forward, their heavy boots striking the ground with sharp, metallic thuds. Ryan could feel the air grow heavier with every step they took. Larissa stood tall in front of him, but he could see the tension in her shoulders. The leader, a massive alien with skin the color of dark steel and eyes like burning coals, lowered his spear toward Ryan's chest. You have spoken the sacred words, he said slowly. That makes you one of us, or our enemy. Ryan raised his hands slightly, showing he wasn't armed. Listen, I didn't mean. Silence, the leader snapped. His voice was like a blade cutting through the air. The law does not care about what you meant, only about what you said. 2 more warriors stepped to Ryan's sides, gripping his arms with hands strong as metal clamps. He could feel the hum of their armor against his skin. Larissa's voice rang out. Release him. He is under my protection. The warriors hesitated, glancing at each other. The leader frowned. You claim him so quickly? I do, she replied. And I demand the trial be done according to the old way. The leader's frown deepened. The proving. Yes, she said firmly. Ryan looked between them. What exactly is the proving? He asked, trying to keep his voice calm. The leader turned his gaze on him. It is the only way to show that you are worthy of the bond you spoke. You will be taken to a place of danger. You will protect her with your life. If you succeed, you will live as her chosen. If you fail, your body will be left for the carrion beasts. Ryan let out a breath. And I don't get a choice, do I? No, the leader said flatly. The warriors began marching them through the market. Alien eyes followed, whispering in low voices. Ryan felt like a criminal being dragged to judgment, though he hadn't even known he had committed a crime. They reached a massive stone hall with towering pillars carved with scenes of battles and hunts. The air inside was cooler, but the pressure was heavier. At the far end sat an elder, her tentacles white with age, her eyes glowing faintly. This is the human who spoke the bond words? She asked. Yes, elder, Larissa said, bowing her head slightly. The elder studied Ryan for a long moment. Strange. The old stories spoke of humans as fragile and dangerous. We will see which you are. She lifted her hand, and the warriors stepped forward. Prepare the trial. At dawn, the proving begins. Ryan's heart sank. Whatever this was, it sounded like it was going to be a fight, and there was no way out. Ryan spent the night in a small stone chamber lit only by a single torch. The walls were bare except for strange carvings, symbols that looked like claws, teeth, and spirals. There was no bed, just a fur mat on the floor. He didn't sleep much. His mind kept replaying the elder's words. At dawn, the proving begins. When the first pale light entered through the narrow window, the door opened. 2 warriors stepped inside, followed by Larissa. She was wearing light armor made of dark leather and metal plates that curved to her body. Her tentacles were tied back with silver bands, and she carried a slender spear. You will need this, she said, handing Ryan a plasma pistol. It was small but heavy, the grip warm as if it had been used many times before. Ryan checked the charge. So what exactly am I walking into? She looked at him seriously. The proving takes place on Dracus Moon. It is a place where predators rule. The trial is simple: you keep me alive until the hunt ends. If I die, you fail. If you die, well, you fail. Sounds encouraging, Ryan muttered. They were escorted to a landing platform where a small shuttle waited. The sky above was dark, filled with the distant glow of Veris Prime's twin suns. The warriors who came with them didn't speak, their faces hidden behind helmets. During the short flight, Ryan kept his eyes on the stars, trying to calm his thoughts. Larissa, sitting across from him, studied him quietly. "You're not like other males I've met," she said finally. "I'll take that as a compliment," Ryan replied. "It was meant as one," she said softly, though there was still a guarded look in her eyes. The shuttle shook slightly as it entered the moon's atmosphere. Through the window, Ryan saw jagged black mountains, rivers of mist, and dark forests that looked ancient and untouched. Something moved far below, large shapes too fast to see clearly. The shuttle landed in a clearing. The moment they stepped out, the cold hit them, sharp and biting. The ground was rough, covered with strange glowing plants that gave off a faint blue light. One of the warriors handed Larissa a small horn carved from bone. "When the trial ends, blow this," he said. "If you live." Ryan looked around, his instincts kicking in. The air was too quiet, no birds, no wind. Then he realized why. Somewhere out there, something was already watching them. Larissa stepped beside him, her voice low. "Stay close, human. The proving has begun." And from the shadows of the forest, a deep, rumbling growl answered. The growl echoed through the black forest, low and hungry. Ryan felt the sound in his chest more than he heard it. The glowing plants swayed slightly, though there was no wind. Larissa raised her spear, her tentacles tightening behind her. "It's close," she whispered. Ryan gripped the plasma pistol, scanning the trees. He couldn't see anything, but his instincts screamed danger. He took a slow step forward, his boots crunching softly on the frost-covered ground. Then movement. Something massive leapt from the shadows, landing only a few steps away. It stood taller than a human, its body covered in black, armored scales. 6 legs ended in hooked claws, and its long head split open to reveal rows of jagged metal-like teeth. Its eyes glowed a deep red. The creature roared, shaking the air. Larissa didn't hesitate. She lunged forward, striking with her spear. The weapon hit the beast's neck, but the scales were too thick. It snarled and swiped at her, forcing her to roll aside. Ryan fired his pistol. Blue plasma bolts struck the creature's side, leaving smoking burns but not slowing it down. It turned toward him with a hiss, charging fast. "Move!" Larissa shouted. Ryan dove to the side as the beast's claws tore into the ground where he had stood. He rolled, came up to one knee, and fired again, this time at the creature's eyes. One shot hit, and the beast howled in rage, stumbling back. But it wasn't alone. From the trees, 2 more shapes emerged, their glowing eyes watching. Larissa's breathing quickened. "They hunt in packs. We have to move." Ryan scanned the terrain quickly. The forest floor dipped into a narrow ravine nearby. "Down there, cover." They ran, the creatures following with terrifying speed. As they reached the ravine, Ryan spotted large, twisted roots jutting from the walls. He pulled a small explosive charge from his belt, human tech he always carried. "Climb!" he ordered. Larissa hesitated only a second before obeying. Ryan set the charge against the roots and scrambled up after her. The creatures closed in, their claws scraping on stone. The explosive went off with a sharp blast, sending rocks and roots tumbling into the ravine. One creature fell back, crushed by debris. The others backed away, snarling. For a moment, there was silence again. Only the sound of Ryan and Larissa's breathing. She looked at him, eyes wide. "No alien I know fights like that." Ryan gave a half-smile. "Guess humans aren't as fragile as you thought." But deep in the forest, another growl rose, lower, heavier, and far more dangerous. Whatever it was bigger than the others. Larissa tightened her grip on her spear. "The true hunt is coming." The deep growl shook the ground beneath their feet. Ryan and Larissa both turned toward the sound, weapons ready. From between the black trees, something enormous stepped into view. It was twice the size of the other beasts, its scales darker, almost blending into the shadows. A long scar ran down its face, and one eye glowed brighter than the other. This was the Alpha. It let out a roar so loud the ground seemed to tremble. The smaller creatures backed away, leaving the two of them alone with the monster. Larissa's voice was steady but quiet. This is the last test. If we kill it, the proving ends. Ryan smirked, though his heart was pounding. No pressure then. The Alpha lunged. Ryan dove aside while Larissa darted forward, her spear striking just under the beast's jaw. The tip pierced the skin, drawing a dark, steaming fluid. The creature shrieked, swinging its head and throwing her back. Ryan fired his plasma pistol, targeting the wound she'd made. Each shot made the beast howl in pain, but it kept coming. Its claws scraped across Ryan's chest plate, knocking him to the ground. Before the Alpha could finish him, Larissa was there, planting herself between them. Her tentacles spread wide, a defensive stance unique to her species. She let out a sharp, trilling cry, challenging the predator. The Alpha hesitated, confused by the display. Ryan took the moment, pulling a second explosive from his belt. He rolled under the creature's chest and planted it against the softer scales near its belly. "Larissa! Now!" he shouted. She stabbed upward with all her strength, driving her spear into the explosive. A blinding flash erupted, and the Alpha let out one final roar before collapsing to the ground, motionless. For a moment, the forest was silent again. Then the horn at Larissa's belt gave a soft hum, the trial's end signal. Back in the clan hall, the crowd gathered as they walked in. Ryan carried the Alpha's massive skull over his shoulder. Whispers spread through the room, eyes wide in shock. The elder leaned forward. "The human lives. The proving is complete." Before Ryan could say anything, Larissa stepped closer and, in full view of the clan, wrapped her tentacles gently around his arms. The gesture was unmistakable. It wasn't just acceptance, it was deep affection. "You are mine now," she said softly, her cheeks turning a faint violet. Ryan blinked, unsure how to respond. "Wasn't I already?" She smiled, truly smiled for the first time. "Yes, but now I want you to be." The hall erupted with mixed sounds. Cheers from some, disbelief from others. But Ryan didn't care. After everything they'd faced, this reaction was the one thing he hadn't expected. The cheers and murmurs of the clan still echoed through the great hall, but Ryan barely noticed. Larissa's tentacles were still wrapped gently around his arms, warm and strangely comforting. Her golden eyes held his, and for a moment, the noise faded into the background. The elder spoke again, her voice carrying weight. "The bond is sealed. The human has proven his strength and courage. From this day forward, he is clan." Ryan swallowed, still trying to wrap his head around what that meant. He'd arrived on this planet as a stranger, just passing through. Now he was tied to a powerful alien family for life. After the ceremony, Larissa led him outside into the cool night. The twin moons hung above, casting silver light over the rooftops. For the first time since they'd met, she looked relaxed. "You know," Ryan said, breaking the silence, "when I first saw you in that market, I just thought I was making small talk." She gave a soft laugh, shaking her head. "And you accidentally bound yourself to me for life." "Yeah," Ryan said, smiling faintly. "Not exactly what I had planned." Her expression softened, her tentacles brushing his arm again. "At first I thought you were foolish. Brave but foolish. My people think humans are fragile, too quick to break. But you didn't break." Ryan shrugged. "We've got a saying back on Earth. You don't know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have." She tilted her head, considering his words. "I think I understand now. Maybe that is why the old stories feared humans. Not because you are fragile, but because you endure." They walked in silence for a moment, the streets empty around them. The air was filled with the faint scent of alien flowers blooming under the moons. Larissa stopped, turning to face him. Ryan, I told you before that my clan would kill you if you broke your promise. That is still true. But now, I don't want you to leave. Not because of the law, but because I want you here. Ryan met her gaze, seeing the sincerity there. Then I guess I'm staying. She smiled, and it wasn't the guarded, cautious smile she had shown before. It was open, genuine. She reached up, placing one hand gently against his chest. Then we begin our journey together. As they stood beneath the moons, Ryan realized that somewhere between danger and survival, something real had formed between them. He had come to this world as an outsider, but now he wasn't just surviving in a strange galaxy. He had someone to fight for, someone who wanted him not out of duty, but choice. And for Ryan, that was worth more than any victory.